Yes, guys. We're back on your screens again. It's the Red Sea podcast, and it's Tiago's father 89 here. We are going to be having a general whip round, everything that's Liverpool. We've not been on your screens for a while, so it's a pleasure to be back with you guys this evening. So, without further ado, hit that intro.
Tell the world, we are Liverpool, champions of England.
We've conquered all of Europe. We're never gonna stop. From Palestine to Turkey, we've won the fucking lot. But Paisley and the Shankly, the fields of Anfield gold. We are all supporters, and we come from Liverpool.
Hello, mate. You all right?
All right, it's been a while.
I know, long time no see. It has been a long time actually since you've been live. I can't even remember the last time since you were on here. But you know what it's like.
Watford preview, I think it was. But like you say, life, new jobs, Easter, family commitments.
Yeah. Oh, mate, don't I know it? Yeah. Life, new jobs. It's just been absolutely mental. But feeling more relaxed. And we're back in the swing of it. So don't worry, guys. We've not gone anywhere. We've just been focusing on other things at the moment, to be fair.
Absolutely right. Back for the business end, I think.
I was going to say, and the title of the show says it all, the running. And, mate, I just want to throw it back a little bit. Because if we think back probably 6 months, one of us, I won't say who, was saying it was all over. There's nothing to play for. We're gonna flunk the season, and here we are in end of May, end of April, getting into the last month, the business end of the season, and the quadruple's still on. And I just want to blow my own trumpet and say, revenge tour. It's nearly mission complete, really, isn't it? Really.
I mean, like you say, if they complete this quadruple, then it is without doubt the greatest season of all time. There's no question anymore. It's not 100 points here, treble here, unbeaten here. If you win every trophy you can possibly win in a season, you're number one forever. So yeah, long may it continue. I mean, yeah, it's great to see. I think Diaz was a major part of the reason we're still in all three competitions and have won one already. I think we needed that little bit extra in January. But yeah, it's been great. I think the title is the only one I'm still slightly concerned about. It's the only one that's not in our own hands. But we'll find out. There's a long way to go. You know, we've got to hope someone does us a favour, which we've relied on before and unfortunately missed out by a point, you know, a few seasons back. But yeah, you know, Champions League's opened up. Another cup final and one in the bag.
Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at the season and its complexity and its entirety, it's been topsy-turvy, and I'm sure there's still more twists to go. There was a lot of a lot of City fans that are going around saying, we want the Champions League and the Premier League, we want the big two. Bollocks to that. Any trophy that you're in, you want to be in. You want to be in for to win it, and it's always like a kind of like a role reversal kind of thing, because we've been there where we're like, no, we want the big two. We want the Premier League or the Champions League. We've been that team for so long. And it's funny that there were some other sort of pundits saying that Liverpool have the best squad depth in the Premier League. Yeah. I'm like, how's that so? We've only added one player. We've only added one player. So how have we gone from having the worst squad depth to having the best squad depth overnight by adding one player? If one player does that for you, then that, you know what I mean? But it's just been crazy.
I think it's a good point, but I think injuries has been a big thing. You know, the likes of Matip has pretty much been fit the whole season. You know, Konate's come in. You forget about how new he is. This is still his first season.
Just on the Konate one, just quickly before you move on.
Yeah.
3 goals in 3 games, all from the head. 2 up against Benfica and then 1 the other day as well. Mate, when he gets moving, that's like a train. You don't want to get in the way of that.
No, I
Yeah,
agree. It was good, wasn't it? Like you said, the two against Benfica and the one against City. He's just when he gets a run on you, such a big presence, big beast, kind of powerful bloke that it's so hard to stop him. And if you're just from a standing point jumping upwards and he's already kind of moving towards the goal, yeah, good luck stopping that. He's the same size as Van Dijk, if not a little bit bigger, which is a
he's
little bit
bigger.
scary and about 8 years younger. So yeah, one for the future, and everything seems to have turned for gold, doesn't it? Diaz hits the ground running. Canate is more than an able deputy for Matip. As I said, he's stayed fit. Last season we had injury problems with Jota. We ended up with a front three that picked itself for about 3 months this season. The rotation with 5 fitting into 3, or 6 or 7 midfielders fitting into 3 as well, and a rotation at the back. Probably only really Trent that hasn't got that obvious backup choice, but Smikas has come in and seems to get assists every single time he plays a game of football. So yeah, the depth has definitely improved. Players like Kelleher have stepped up as well and become an able deputy. And there's not really any weakness anymore, is there? If you change any position, all right, sometimes there's a step down slightly, but realistically, that's the reason we've already won 1 trophy and are still in a shout for the other 3.
I totally agree with you, and let's dissect it a little bit, and we'll get to the Premier League at the back end because that's the one that's probably the most intriguing, I would say. So let's start with the FA Cup. So obviously, we go into the FA Cup semi-finals against Manchester City. We're all sitting there thinking it was going to be a major ding dong. We were expecting this huge tear up, but I think it was relatively easy for us. Certainly in the first half. I mean, what's your take? Do you? I don't think we were tested. We weren't tested. In the goals which we conceded, certainly in the second half, I think we'd done that through the fact that we kind of switched off because we knew the game was kind of done dusted.
Yeah, no, I agree. We've done something very similar, in my opinion, against Benfica and against Man City. We've kind of blasted them away. We've seen Liverpool do this before. Roma at home going 5-0 up and just absolutely blowing teams away within the first half an hour of games. We did it against Man City in the Champions League a few years ago as well. Just blitzed them within the first half an hour. And yes, the other teams are always going to come back in the game, but once you've got that big lead, as long as you can hang on. You can make it happen. But I looked at Man City's lineup and, everyone says it's their B team and I think it cost 460 odd mil and our starting lineup cost about 300. So some B team that, but, Zach Steffen, John Stones, Nathan Ake, Zinchenko and Fernandinho, I'll be honest, my eyes lit up and I thought, okay, these are good players, but we've got better ones. And our 11, it's a great point that you made earlier, which I want to pick on it in terms of the roles reversal, because like you say, with the squad, we've only really ever had the squad to just go for the Champions League and for the Prem. We've almost had to just sack off the other 2 because we've not got the squad to do it. And this season, City have struggled with injuries here and there, and their quality in depth isn't maybe quite as strong as ours. So, you look at the lineup that we've played, maybe we had an easier Champions League tie than they did, but I looked at that team and I thought, we've got a chance here. And like you said, the first, half an hour, we find ourselves just on half time, 3-0 up with Sadio Mane getting that second. And, Man City are going to come back into it. But for me, we're being uber critical. You look at Benfica, you look at City. When you're that far ahead, we have, let's be honest, in the last 2 games, just kind of what you said, just switched off. Games won. But once you let that other team back in and that momentum swings, we've seen it in the Champions League many times. Chelsea nearly did it against Madrid this time round as well. You never know. So we've just got to tighten up a little bit. I think that's 7 goals conceded in our last 3 games. And yeah, we've progressed in all of it. But, for me, I think we just got to tighten up a little bit at the back, carry on with that front 5, ripping teams to shreds. And, it could be a very special season.
Yeah, I mean, look, and again, just sticking with that game, you'll obviously would have seen my comments in the group reference this little man here, Thiago.
Yeah, special, wasn't he?
Mate, like, it was like we're past the watershed, so I'm going to say it. It was fucking unreal. There is no other way to describe that man's performance. The passing masterclass that he put on, the defensive masterclass that he put on. You couldn't get near him. City were chasing shadows all game. And I think now, and I know that you've been critical. I think that a few other of our guys have been critical as well. But I think now we're actually finally starting to see the Thiago that we all know,
Yeah,
that we all know was in there. And I just think it's come down to what I've been saying from the get-go is you play him in the big games. He's a big game player. You don't drive your Rolls Royce to the local chippy. That's not what you do. Do you know what I mean? You get in the little whatever, not for the local. When you're going to the big boy, that's when you take the rollie. And I think he's done excellent. We saw him take apart Benfica. We see him take apart Manchester City. You know, who wants it? Because he's unreal. And just leading on in terms of the midfield selection, there were a lot of sort of things going around in the media recently that would suggest that we saw our best midfield up against City. A fit Naby Keita, a fit Thiago, and Fabinho looked back to his best, because the City League game, I thought Fabinho was shit. I'm gonna be open. He had a poor game. He was chasing shadows.
Yeah.
Whereas the cup game, he looked fully fit. He looked firing, and no one wanted it with him, to be honest.
No, he bossed it, and as I said, with the City lineup, Fernandinho made that announcement that he was leaving at the end of the season, and Guardiola seems to have just chucked him in to this game because of that. I don't know if he was planning to play him anyway, but Rodri for me, I don't think he's checked out necessarily. I just don't think he's at the level required anymore. Again, and like you say, the big games, against 18 of the 20 Premier League teams and most of Europe, Fernandinho is okay. Against, let's be fair, probably one of the best teams on the planet right now, Liverpool, if not the best.
Yeah,
Fernandinho isn't quite there for me, and like you've mentioned, Fabinho is Fernandinho 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, and Thiago was literally hovering, a foot off of the grass in that game. He was unbelievable. That was the best I've ever seen Thiago play by quite a distance.
In a Liverpool shirt.
In a Liverpool shirt. I don't really watch Barcelona or Bayern, so I'm not going to comment.
Yeah.
In terms of the little move before Sadio Mane's volley goal between Thiago and Trent, when he brought it down in the air in his own half, did a little kick up and absolutely volleyed it with the outside of his foot, bang to Salah's feet. I was just like, all right. Because you see him do that in the warm-ups sometimes, don't you? They're doing kick-ups and they're like 20 meters apart. One's doing kick-ups, boots it, then they keep it off the air, they boot it back. So, technically, I've never really said he's not a good player. I've just not seen it consistently for Liverpool. And I think you're right. I think a player of that level, of that ilk, he doesn't need to play against Norwich and the like. You play him in the big games. We've got Villarreal semi-finals, 2 massive games that I think Thiago will be heavily involved in. We've got an FA Cup final to come, which again, I would expect Thiago to start. In terms of your question, though, I said at the very beginning of the season, it was Keita versus Ox. One of them will leave at the end of the season. And I think we've been proven correct. I think Ox's time is probably done. But for me, I'm still not convinced by Naby Keita. I'm really not. He's definitely improving very, 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 very slowly. But I still look at him and I still don't see a world-class Liverpool. Yeah, I just don't see it enough. There's not a Liverpool world-class centre midfielder in there. I would still say Hendo, Fabs and Thiago is our best midfield. I understand Henderson cannot play 90 minutes twice a week anymore. I get that. That's absolutely understandable. But if we've got a Champions League final and an FA Cup final, my midfield three is Fab, Thiago and Henderson.
Do you know what, right? I get it. And you know me, I've been critical of Naby over the last however long. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're literally, because we've not been on your screens for so long, we are having the big catch up. So if you're in the comments, just hit us with stuff because it is just an open conversation. It is the big catch up. I mean, with Naby, there's times where he's just mesmerizing. Like against City on Saturday, he was unreal. Couldn't get near him. Game. Good. He had a fucking great game. Couldn't get near him. Could not get near him. And I looked at that like, wow. Why can't you play like this all the fucking time? And
Agreed.
I think that's the problem. Is we're saying, why can't you do this all the time? Do you know what I mean? We're not sitting here going, great, another great performance from Naby Keita, absolutely fantastic. We're sitting here going, why? If you can do that now, why the fuck you not been doing that then? Do you know what I mean?
I mean, if you was to give Keita an out of 10 for this season, I'd struggle to give him higher than a 7 over a
100.
season.
It wouldn't be. It wouldn't be.
No, which
It
is my
wouldn't be.
point
No,
exactly.
it wouldn't be. Yeah,
No.
it wouldn't be. But this is what I'm saying. So taking it back to the original point with the Ox and the Keita kind of battle, which we earmarked at the beginning of the season, I think early doors in the season, Ox was winning the battle. It was like,
I would agree. Yeah,
Keita's gone, mate. We were like, Keita's gone. You and I were looking at who the hell we could swap him out for. We were swapping him out for all like Zakaria, Bellingham and Cash. We're swapping him out for like we're trying to get him out of the team. We're sitting here thinking, Bundesliga, here you go. Take this man now.
Yeah, he disappeared for a while, didn't he? He wasn't even injured. He just Ox, like you say, Ox was getting in the team, wasn't he? Ahead of him.
Bollocks to that. He kicked the blade of fucking grass and was missing for fucking 4 weeks.
That's what I mean.
In the last season against Madrid, yeah. and then he went into the AFCON and fucked and crippled himself in the AFCON. I just think that I just think he's a walking sick note. He's just a sick note. Do you know what he is? He's Matip before Matip sipped the elixir of life. That's what he is. He's Matip. He's Matip before Matip. He's Matip before Matip sipped the elixir of life. I don't know what Matip took over the summer, but Naby, you need that shit. Yeah,
take him to the fountain of youth.
Oh, 100%. Whatever Matip did over the summer, yeah. Naby, you need to be doing that shit because Matip was the like Naby was sick note, but Matip was on the op table for probably 8 months of the season. Yeah, combined. Yeah. Whereas now, Matip's like first name on the team sheet, and I think we found the rhythm with Matip in terms of his games. Yeah, they've not just been trying to play him, and with the emergence and the arrival of Konate, that's allowed Matip to play again in the big games. But then that's nothing stopping Konate coming into the big games, because against City was unreal, against Benfica unreal. So I think those two are kind of sharing that second centre half kind of berth in that respect. And I think with Naby, if we can get another world-class top draw, not a young pretender, I want another top draw midfielder to come in, I think that will benefit Naby. So if Ox goes out the door and you bring in another midfielder of top quality, that's going to benefit Naby.
So it's an interesting point. I agree with you and Yusuf in the comments. I think Ox is done. You know, he's not going to feature again this season. I agree with you with the point that you need a squad in terms of when you start a season, August, September, October. You've got the League Cup, you've got Champions League group stages, you know, early games. There's lots of games thick and fast, and you know you can afford to drop a Minamino in, an Origi in, etc. But at the business end of the season, like we're talking about in the run-in, we've already got such a strong squad, such a strong 11, maybe even a strong 16 that, you know, the likes of Chamberlain, Minamino and Origi, who are the, you know, 16th, 17th, 18th choices, even Elliott and Jones are struggling to get minutes at the moment because everybody's staying fit. You know, we've got an 11, we've got a 15, and it's really hard to break into that. So I agree. I think Ox is done.
Whoa. Joseph, don't make me put you in timeout, bro. Don't make me put you in timeout, bro. Yeah. That is wild. Don't get me wrong. Trossard in a Brighton shirt, levels. Trossard in a Liverpool shirt, I know Klopp is a magician, but he ain't fucking Harry Houdini. Yeah, relax, bro. Relax.
I just think with Naby Keita, you know, you've got James Milner's probably not going to feature much if he does sign next year. It's probably going to be like a player coach role, I would imagine.
I don't want him to sign. I don't want him to sign next year.
I don't particularly want him to sign either, but you know, you've got Elliott and Jones that haven't featured much lately. They're both going to have another big pre-season. They're going to get more minutes next year. Henderson's going to play less. Thiago is probably going to play a little bit less, only in the big ones rather than week to week. So for me, yeah, I think we do need another midfielder to come in, but I don't think that benefits Keita. I think that's the opposite effect. I don't think he benefits from competition, because I think he will lose out. If we bring in our top world-class midfielder, they go above Naby Keita in a pecking order.
But don't forget, we've got the young Carvalho coming in, and that looks like it's all but done. Yeah, it looks like it's all but done. Apparently, Liverpool are not announcing it because they don't want to be disrespectful to Fulham, but it's done, isn't it?
So as soon as the championship season finishes, they will announce it, I would imagine.
And Fulham, I think Fulham have they confirmed promotion yet? I think they're all but won it.
Yeah, if Forest didn't win tonight, they guaranteed it, but they're free up. So I think Fulham's next game, if they get a point or something, they're up. Yeah,
they've got it. Yeah, they've got it. So it's all but done in terms of that deal. Liverpool are obviously trying to restructure how they go about their business, because ultimately they're looking and they've got one eye on the future.
Yeah,
we're seeing Elliott, who's had minutes. Curtis Jones has had minutes. You throw Carvalho into that as well. You're gonna have another young player coming through who's going to be getting minutes. I just think that all roads lead to Jude Bellingham for me, if I'm being honest. And another kind of wild card, Declan Rice. I know that Klopp is a fan, but I think the money involved for Declan Rice would be ridiculous, would be stupid. They're talking about 100 M's, 150 M's for Declan Rice. That's English player tax right there. Don't get me wrong, he's good, but he had 150 M's. So I think we will see some more additions and kind of the change in the guard. I mean, I also feel this is why we're trying to milk the years out of James Milner as best as we possibly can before Hendo maybe kind of transitions into that older statesman role and starts to take on the cameo appearances of a Milner. I don't see, as much as I love Thiago, I don't see Thiago with Liverpool past next season. I think he will. It was a 3-year deal, wasn't it? Of which will be his 3rd year. Last season, this season, and next season. So I don't see him with Liverpool past that. I think it was literally a whistle stop for him. Premier League, to experience the Premier League, to win something with Liverpool. Win the Premier League title, to have it on his CV.
Yeah, I agree.
Very much in the same way we saw Xavi Alonso do exactly the same thing when he left Real Madrid and went to Bayern Munich. It was to say, I've played in Germany, I've conquered Germany as well. I've now got everything. Thiago's got Champions Leagues. He's got La Ligas. He's got Bundesligas. He's got. He wasn't part of the Spain World Cup winning squad or the Euro winning squad, I don't think. But he's got domestically. He's got everything. There is to have won. The only thing that's eluding him is a Premier League. He's got a League Cup. If you win the FA Cup, he's got an FA Cup. If you win the Premier League, he's got a Premier League. You know what I mean? So he's done the full rounds. Do you see what I'm saying? So I think there'll be nothing else left in for him to achieve. So that's when I feel like we will see a huge switch over in that midfield, where maybe a Bellingham comes in, or that kind of signing becomes more feasible in a year's time.
Yeah, I agree, and it's an interesting point you make with Declan Rice, because he's a CDM, and out of the 3 midfielders that we're talking about, you'd say Fabinho is probably the long, in terms of longevity, going to be there the longest of those 3. So if you're going to spend that kind of money, you're talking about transition. It is the Thiago and the Henderson positions to the left and to the right of that CDM that you're going to be looking at, and I think Bellingham is definitely one of them. Can Elliott or Jones reach that level consistently? I don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see. Will Naby Keita ever consistently be as good as Henderson and Thiago? Again, I don't personally think so. So
it's not a skill set thing; it's an availability thing.
Yeah, it's everything, isn't it? Because you look at the how consistent our midfield has been. Henderson is not the greatest footballer on the planet, but what he offers you is better than someone like Pogba, who might have all the ability in the world but does nothing for 5 years. So
Yes,
I'd have Henderson
yes.
every day of the week over him. So you
Mm,
need to replace, leadership. You need to replace tenacity. You need to replace availability. Ability on the ball, vision with Thiago and Henderson going out. We've got Fabinho. There's, in my opinion, no CDM in the world better. That there's some on his level, but I wouldn't say there's any considerably better than him. So yeah, the whole team is looking like that now, isn't it? With the front three going down a very similar route. The original three, they're all hitting that age. We've seen Jota come in, we've seen Diaz come in, 25, 23. Bellingham would be 19. So, it's definitely transitioning. Carvalho's another young lad as well. So yeah, it's looking good, but we just got to be careful that we don't leave a gap of, let's get rid of a 32-year-old and bring in a 22-year-old. You need to have players in their prime. Liverpool have been at their best when their first 11 is between the age of 27 and 29. That's where all players really hit their best years of their careers. So I do personally think that the squad is better than it's ever been. But if you stand still, you go backwards. So you have to definitely keep an eye out for some good little deals. And yeah, the last two signings we've made, Canate and Diaz, Carvalho is another one. They know what they're doing. They're making good decisions in the market.
Definitely. I mean, and off the pitch, we seem to be. I'm going to say it, off the pitch, we're the world leaders. Off the pitch, there isn't any other clubs out there doing what we're doing off the pitch. Shout out to you. Thanks for joining us. There isn't any other clubs out there doing what we're doing recruitment wise off the pitch. I mean, you look at Leipzig. They were famed for their recruitment. Second place finishes in the Bundesliga on 2 occasions. They're now in fourth in the Bundesliga. There's only so far that sort of buy to sell model takes you. We think about the Premier League option, the Premier League examples of that. Southampton were one, the buy to sell model, and look at where they're at. Leicester, again, probably were the gods of recruitment, the buy to sell model. And we're now starting to see that kind of those wheels, kind of come off that bus. Liverpool were almost kind of tarnished and tarred with that same kind of brush. We think about, Luis Suarez coming. He came in, made a huge impact, sold for big money. Coutinho came in, small money, made a big impact, sold for big money. It seems that Liverpool's recruitment, and again, I hate to be one of the ones that say I told you so. I did call this early doors at the beginning of the season that there will be a change of policy in our recruitment as the new kind of the new era kind of comes in. Edwards to Ward. There's a lot of kind of trails that suggest that Ward had his prints all over the Diaz deal. That it was like, no, we get him now and we spend the money now.
It's better every day, doesn't it? That deal.
Mate, just on Diaz. Let's home in on that.
Yeah,
he looks like he's. Did you know what? The thing about it, number one, it just gives me chilling Suarez vibes. Just the whole, like the way he runs and just everything is just Suarez-esque. Yeah. If he can improve his finishing, oh God. Like that's the only thing with him that makes me think to myself, what a player. The finishing isn't quite there yet. And I think that links back to the decision making. The decision making isn't quite there yet. But you can coach that 100%. The other thing with him is it's like he's always been there. It's like he's been there from day dot. He's just slotted in like a glove. There's no teething problems. There's no lack of chemistry with the others in the front lineup. You're almost to a degree, and I know we'll touch on this shortly. In Mo Salah's kind of drop in form, but you're almost kind of thinking, and look, guys, in the comments, shoot me down if I'm wrong because we want you guys involved. Is Diaz now the first name on the team sheet? That's the question. But if we're looking at the form of Mo Salah and we're looking at the impact that Diaz has had, and it'd be disrespectful if I didn't mention Sadio Mane in this, but are you looking at the team sheet going, do you know what? If Salah doesn't play, I ain't worried I ain't worried. Like, I'm not worried. Like, I'm not worried. Like, I'll be honest. And you saw what I put in the group the other day, and I'll quote it. Like,
Yeah.
if Salah doesn't want to sign, let him go. Let him go, because the difference between us and every other team in the fucking Premier League is that Liverpool somehow, year on year, regardless of when we're at our lowest or when we're at our best, we've always had a top draw number 9. I don't disagree with you. Salah is the best player in world football. Yeah, Salah is the best player in world football. But at the time, so was Fernando Torres, was the best player in world football. So was Michael Owen, best player in world football. So was Ian Rush. So was Dalglish. Yeah, was the best player in world football. Yeah, same as Luis Suarez, was the best player in world football. Never get it twisted. Yeah, Liverpool Football Club. Yeah, we specialize in number 9s. Yeah, we specialize in number 9s. We've always had top draw number 9s. Yeah.
So Chelsea, you've got the curse of the number 9s.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you've got the curse of the number 9s. But I'm not pressed right now. I've put so much energy into worrying about the whole Salah contract thing, where I'm not pressed. Salah, but he's not though. But he's not. He's not. Don't get me wrong. He's unreal, but it's not anything that we haven't, as Liverpool fans, it's not anything we haven't seen before. This isn't anything new to us. We've had Keegan. We've had Keegan, was the best at the time. Yeah. Dalglish was the best. Rush, the best. Fowler, the best. Owen, the best. Torres, the best. Suarez, the best. Because we've always had the best up front. Like, it's been nothing new. So I'm just relaxed. Like, you don't want to sign. Your agent wants to play stupid games. Cool.
Yeah.
Play stupid games. This is Liverpool Football Club, bro.
Yeah, it's good. I've got a lot to talk about there. I mean, the transfer policy that you mentioned at the very start, I agree. The buy-sell thing is what gets you from a good club to a great club. But once you get there, you have to change, and that's what we've kind of done. You know, we've not sold anybody in our first team since Coutinho. You know, we brought in Alisson and Van Dijk in 2018 Jan and 2019 2018 Jan and 2018 summer. Correct me if I'm wrong. And since then, nobody that we didn't want to leave has left. We've not cashed in on anybody. Contracts have run down, the likes of Chan, the likes of Wijnaldum, but that's our choice. We could have offered that.
I think there's been a couple of factors in there though, which I will say. Michael Edwards was very, very clever, and he kind of saw the market, and also I think he kind of saw the demise of Real Madrid and Barcelona. Had we still had a coefficient competitive Real Madrid and Barcelona, we may be talking a slightly different story where someone like Sadio Mane is concerned. But that's a completely fair point. I think both of those teams have struggled, haven't they, financially over the past couple of years, compared to flashing it and, you know, let's buy the best player in the world regardless. I mean, Madrid offered 160 million for Mbappe last summer and he had a year left on his deal. So they've still got the ability to do that. You know, Barcelona are in the mud and then they sign a 500 million deal with Spotify. So now suddenly they can buy Ferran Torres and you know, they're linked with Haaland all of a sudden. So it's an interesting one. But Lewandowski as well. But, you know, you look at Liverpool now and you think, you know, where else would you rather be? They're literally going to potentially win 4 trophies. We're one match off, well, 2 matches if you include it as a second leg, of playing in every possible match this season. You know, Premier League, you play 38, FA Cup final, won the League Cup, and we're in the Champions League semis. If we get past Villarreal, we've played in every physically game we could possibly play in. So, you know, where else do you actually want to be? But, you know, in terms of Luis Diaz, you know, he's come into the team, he's hit the ground running, and it's not like Klopp to just chuck somebody in. So the faith that he's shown and the ability that, you know, he's actually shown on the pitch is, you know, amazing, because, you know, Andy Robertson's come in and he takes 6 months to get in the team. There's a lot of examples where, other than really Van Dijk and Alisson, because they're such key positions, nobody has really come in and become a first team player, you know, overnight, you know, during the season. So
you make some good points with his finishing, and his chemistry is definitely there already. He doesn't. We mentioned before he doesn't speak any English. Robertson doesn't. Even if he did, we said he wouldn't understand him anyway. So give Diaz a full pre-season with this team. A proper pre-season. I think next season. You mentioned about, is he the first name on the team sheet now? I wouldn't say so yet. He's getting there. But if we're talking about this, look at November this year into the new season, just before the break of the World Cup. He's not even going to the World Cup, so he's going to be biting at the, chomping at the bit to do everything with Liverpool next season. It's an interesting thing because Mane primarily has been used on the left. Jota can play there and has played there. Diaz is pretty much only really been used on the left so far. So that's already a battle. Mane through the middle has looked phenomenal. Salah on the right.
I did call that as well.
You definitely did. He's looked great up there.
That.
No, I will agree with you that you said that, and I will say that you were right with that one. And the bit that you just want to touch on with Salah, like you say, he's been on the right. He's been a bit of an untouchable, and I was a little bit disappointed with Klopp at the weekend because Salah was poor, and he takes off Mane and Diaz for Jota and Firmino, and Salah still played the whole game, and he was poor. Mane was unbelievable. Diaz was brilliant. Sending the wrong message for me. So,
but there is an element where you try and. I think some players, you got to play them through the bad form. You got to play them through it.
Fair point.
I think he's had a lot to contend with as well. You think losing the African Cup of Nations final, and then losing the qualification stage as well. Yeah. I just think this season's been a long run-in for him. And now when we need it the most, squad is starting to come in. The meaning of squad is starting to come into this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think that defenders are playing up against him more, right? And I noticed it in a lot of the games recently. Defenders are getting closer to him, and they're thinking, do you know what? If I get closer to him, I'm gonna be able to nick the ball off him or whatever. Not, I'm seeing that a little bit, but it's fine. Play up against him, mark him as the danger man. It's letting Mane just terrorize you, which is fine.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. If that's the role he's got to do, he's got to be on the park to take the attention away from the others to allow the others to shine. Cool, I'm cool with that. I want to press you though on the Salah contract thing though. I want to press you on this because we've seen that the kid at Benfica. We're linked to the kid at Benfica. Yeah. He to me, and Klopp's already said we ain't going for Haaland. We ain't spending that dough. Like it's stupid money. Yeah. Like I think what was his words? It's fairy tale money. We're not spending that dough.
No, so silly.
You look at the kid at Benfica. He looks like a beast.
He looks very, very good.
I'm not saying he's Haaland levels. I'm not saying that. But
similar build.
Similar build.
Mold,
it's the same build, the same mold. Yeah. But if you want to potentially go and get that ilk of player at a fraction of the price, that's your guy. That's your guy. And if we are to pull the trigger for someone like him, who leaves? Because we can't keep adding to the firepower and not lose something. Obviously, we know Origi's leaving. That's all. That's written on the cards. We know he's going. Yeah. So we could bring him in because there's a space there. Yeah. But Origi wasn't playing any games. So who's going?
It's a great question. I mean, I tend to agree with QNTV in the comments. Form is temporary, class is permanent.
100%.
Mo Salah's had a dip. We've mentioned the reasons why. He's still the top scorer in the Premier League. It's not like we're talking about.
He's level with Ronaldo now.
I don't think Ronaldo's got 20 Premier League goals. I think he's got.
I'm sure
17 maybe this time.
Ronaldo 20 in all competitions?
Yeah, Salah's still clear, I think, in the Prem. But if we were talking about we got this many goals last season, but this season he's not been so great. He's still the top scorer in the Premier League. So for me, you give Salah the new deal based on the last 5 years, like QNTV has mentioned. You know, Mo Salah's won us, the Champions League.
20 for Mo, 17 for Song, 15 for Ronaldo,
Yeah.
Jota on 15, Mane on 13. Wow, we got 3 in the top 5. That's unreal.
Yeah. So for me,
carry on.
the person that you've not mentioned there that's been there all season is the man I would replace for a Darwin Núñez, and that's Bobby.
No. Bobby.
Controversial.
Bobby knits everything together. He's
But does he though? Because
he's Diaz's translator, bro. He's Diaz's translator.
Bobby Firmino is 5th choice attacker.
That's cool. You don't need him to be anything more than that.
So if you're bringing in Darwin Núñez, who falls off the bottom?
And this is what I'm saying. This is the thing. I for me wouldn't. If I was going with all of them, it ain't Bobby. I'd rather personally. I'm saying bye to Mane.
Wow.
I'm saying bye because Mane's got resale value. Bobby doesn't have resale value in the same way that Mane does, only because Bobby doesn't get the goddamn respect that he's due.
I just don't think Bobby's as good as he used to be. I think he's still a very good player.
He's not.
But he's now entering his 30s. He's got 1 year left on his deal. How much more are we really going to get out of Firmino that scores 10 goals a season in all competitions when you've got Mane had that rubbish season, but he's bounced back this season. He's probably got 15, 16 goals in all competitions. Salah's got about 25. Diaz is going to start adding numbers. Jota's getting numbers.
Yeah, 100. But the drop in Mane, is going to be steep. It's going to be a steep drop. Like it's going to be sharp. Yeah. It's going to be sharp. It ain't going to be like a little, it's going to be woof because of the kind of explosive impact kind of player he is. Bobby's never been that explosive kind of player. He's never done that. I think Bobby is like a fine wine. He's just going to start. He's going to do the John Barnes and start to pull strings. Do you know what I mean? Barnesy got that injury and he couldn't be the athletic player that he was. He just became the guy that pulled strings. He went from being an out-and-out forward winger to being a centre midfielder. Bobby could do that.
I agree. So maybe we keep them all. We make Firmino into a centre midfielder and we bring in Núñez as the number 9.
Maybe they all stay. No, maybe they all stay. But I just think to myself, of all of them, I just can't.
I love them all. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I just couldn't see Bobby walk out the door because of the resale value. Right. Yeah. Now we've discussed the transfer. We've gone on to that little chat a little bit. Let's flick it to the Champions League. I know we're discussing the FA Cup. Villarreal and Mr. Good Evening just keeps on doing it, man. He just keeps on doing it. Like I said to an Arsenal fan the other day, I was like, "There's egg on you lot's faces." Since he's left, he's been in a Europa League final
and won it.
Yeah, and won it, and now he's in a Champions League semi-final. Yeah. And you know what the Gooners had the cheek to say to me? Oh, he's just a cup manager. I was like, you dickheads. You actual dickheads. I'm not being funny. If he's just a cup manager, if we'd have won the Europa with Arsenal, you're in the Champions League, bruv.
He was one game away, wasn't he? I mean, they're still going backwards, though, because Wenger getting 4th, being in the Champions League every season wasn't good enough. Emery comes in, 6th, Europa League final, not good enough. Arteta 8th and not in Europe at all. Trust the process. It's getting worse. They've just lost 3 in a row.
But they bring out new sexy kits every 3-4 months, so it's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay. So that's all right. I don't want to get at Gooners. But I just think it's a fucking mess. If I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be like, why did we sack Emery?
Yeah,
why?
Give him time. He's clearly a good manager, and you've brought someone in that's never been a manager,
mate. Ever. He's won the most Europa Leagues ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
3 in a row, isn't it, with Sevilla, I think.
He fucking annihilated us.
That was the 2017 final.
He destroyed us. But bro, we scored a worldie from Sturridge and we were like, right, it's in the bag.
Yeah.
And he
No,
was like, yeah.
not to be.
He's like, yeah. What against me, Mr. Europa League? Now, fuck that.
Hold my
Watch
beer.
that task. Yeah, yeah. It was hold my coat. Yeah, let me just
Yeah.
do a bit of magic and destroyed
No,
us.
he's
Emery is a decent manager.
he's done brilliantly. I
Cup
mean,
manager or not?
yeah, I mean, they came through the group with Man United, I think, in second place. So they weren't going to have the easiest draw. They got Juventus in the last 16.
Bayern.
Maybe a team that's slightly over the hill. You'd say Juventus are not what they were, but they're still a top side, and you'd still back them to beat Villarreal. They get rid of them, and then, like you say, Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals. I mean, there is nobody on the planet that would have backed Villarreal to knock out Bayern over 2 legs. Lewandowski, Sane, Gnabry, you name it.
They parked him.
And
this
yeah,
is
I mean,
this is why I'm worried.
Yeah.
This is why I'm genuinely worried. Like, I can't lie. Like, of all of it, of all the comps left, yeah. I'm sorry. I know there's a Chelsea fan in here watching. Respect to you for sticking with us. But we're parking you off in the cup final. You're getting parked. Yeah. You're getting parked.
Alisson's going to play this time.
Exactly. You're getting parked, right? So Chelsea, FA Cup's in the bag. They're getting parked. Yeah. Done. And also, shout out to you Chelsea fans that were talking crud at the beginning of the season. If Tuchel wins the Premier League, he's going to surpass Jurgen Klopp. Fuck off. Because I told you it was never happening. I told you from the get-go. Another one that I called. I said it was never happening. And all these Chelsea fans are giving it the big one. Like, they've all gone quiet. Like, I don't hear from Monster anymore. I don't hear from Daniel. I don't hear from any of you. Like, where are you, bruv? Like, where's the big... At the moment, your club's in fucking tatters. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Your club's in tatters, right? I don't hear from any of you anymore. Yeah? But I think, personally, we do the FA Cup. But that Champions League semi-final against the Yellow Submarine,
yeah, it's a wild card, isn't it? It's an unknown.
It's a worry. It's an unknown quantity. They're a team that can defend. They can defend.
No, they've got some good players. They've got a really good mix of homegrown talent. They've got is it? I pronounced my pronunciation is shocking, but Chukwueze, I think it might be.
Yeah.
Really pacey forward player. Dan Juma's the other one. Was at Bournemouth, wasn't he, last season, and looks like an absolute world beater now. They look fantastic. Yeah, we were linked with him. We were. Maybe that could have been a different story, but I mean, they've got Gerard Moreno. He's a good, goal scoring Spanish striker as well. And you're right. I do personally think Bayern and Juventus.
Coquelin. Yeah, Francis Coquelin, and they've got Lo Celso as well.
Yeah, they've got a midfield of North London rejects, haven't they? Capoue is the other one.
Capoue, and they've also got who's the ex Albion, Raul Albion.
I think they've even got Aurier in there as well.
Yeah,
from Spurs. So there's a bit of he's a bit of an ex kind of London contingent. But for me, I look at Bayern Munich and I look at Juventus, and yes, they're very good teams, but Ajax have beaten Juventus in the past because it's youth against experience, and sometimes youth and energy beats that. So Liverpool are another level to Bayern and Juventus. I personally do think Villarreal will give it a cracking go, but I think with over 2 legs, we should have too much for them. But no, I mean, hats off to them, to Emery, to get to the semi-finals of the Champions League when you were a goalkeeper scoring his pen away from not even being in it after that United shootout.
I'll tell you why I'm worried, right? It is that we have struggled in the past to break down teams which want to put 11 men behind the ball. Yeah. So I'm worried that they try and against that high line.
Yeah, they'll be playing counter-attack, yeah, for sure.
They try and play counter-attack against that high line, and they sit in and try and take us to penalties or they nick a goal and right, we're going to defend that goal with our lives. They play like Atletico but without the shithousery.
Yeah, it's a great point.
You know what I mean? They play like Atletico without the shenanigans and shithousery.
But they actually try and score a goal as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Without the shenanigans and the shithouse behavior, they play like Atletico. It's counter-attack. So I feel they're going to play to their strengths, which is right. Let's be compact. Let's make them break us down. They have to break us down. Hard to beat, resilient, and we can nick something here against that high line. Whereas I think Liverpool, will throw everything at them, including the kitchen sink. They'll get everything. They'll get the full works, and it should on paper it should be enough to destroy them. But if you looked at the Bayern Munich tie, it should have been enough for Bayern to win. You saw when Bayern got the goal, it was like, right, it's done. Like Bayern are going to just score 1, 2, 3,
in there, didn't they?
boom, and then all of a sudden they just soaked up the pressure. Boom, counter attack.
Yeah, sucker punch right at the end, wasn't it? No one could quite believe what had happened. I think the thing that helps me in the Champions League is the 5-sub rule. You know, we've got that front 5, which you would think all of them are going to probably play in both legs against Villarreal. You know, you're going to have all 5 up against Villarreal at some point. You know, you're going to have either a fresh Jota, a fresh Diaz, a fresh Mane. You know, Salah's probably going to start, but I just think that they can definitely hold an 11 for 60, 70 minutes. But as soon as you make those 2, 3, 4, 5 subs that you're allowed to make in the middle 3 or the front 3, I just think that's too much for Villarreal. I think they have a very, very good 11. I don't think Villarreal can put 5 subs on and can keep that going. I think 5 subs for them weaken their team considerably. I think 5 subs for us could potentially, on who you start, could even improve the team. So I think that's where that tie will be won. I think it'll be close. I think Villarreal are going to get a goal, especially at home. But I think we can sneak through. I'm sure we'll do a preview closer to the time for that fixture. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And, you know, over on the other side, could we get a rematch against Madrid? That would be very nice because they've done us twice in the last 2. Or is it Man City again? And will they be up against an English team again another year after the Chelsea final? So don't count your chickens yet, but it's looking good. I would have chosen Villarreal out of the semi-final opponents. Put it that way.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be Real Madrid.
Could quite be.
Honestly, I think it's going to be Real Madrid because I can't see.
I mean, if Diaz isn't back, Benzema is just outrageous. The only person that stops him is Van Dijk in world football right now.
I've got a funny feeling it's Madrid. I've got a funny feeling. I think, again, I just think that the quality, not necessarily defensively, but the forward quality that Madrid have in Benzema is unreal. It's unreal. Like, he's the best striker in the world at the moment.
Yeah.
The best out and out, not the best player.
Yeah.
The best out and out
central
striker.
Yeah.
In world football is Karim Benzema. Like,
definitely.
This year, it's like Ballon d'Or. Like, that's what I'm on. Yeah. So if he wins the league, because they're winning, they're ahead in the league at the moment.
Yeah.
And he lifts the Champions League. Yeah. And he was to lift the Champions League. He wins the Ballon d'Or. That wins him the Ballon d'Or. So he's heavily focused on that. Now, that's not to sit here and deny what Manchester City have in terms of their team and so on and so forth. But at the same time, they got Thibaut Courtois between the sticks. Yeah, they got Thibaut Courtois between the sticks. Yeah. And he's an outrageous goalkeeper. Look, I just want to address our resident Chelsea fan. Yeah. Let's talk about this. City winning the Champions League.
That's a fair.
Let's talk about this. Every team's got a chance. Every team's got a chance. You've got to be in it to win it. But you're forgetting that you're coming up against in the semis, and now we're in the business end of the competition. You've got 2 teams in there, i.e. Real Madrid, who have won it the most times ever, and
13.
Liverpool 13 times, and you've got Liverpool, and of those 13, Benzema has won the decima. So
I wonder how many. He probably won. Has he won 4 with them?
4.
Is it 4? Wow.
4. So Benzema's won 4. Yeah. Right. This is what I'm saying. what people forget, yeah. And I know every team's got to win it at some point. Every one of those teams has won it once to then go on the run which they're on in terms of winning it. But
Yeah.
winning the first one is the hardest one. It's the hardest one to win. Once you win it once, yeah. And I don't want to hear about Nottingham Forest and all that bollocks. Yeah, I'm talking about the big. I'm talking about the big fish, the big teams, the Liverpools of this world, the Real Madrids, the Bayern Munichs, the Man Uniteds, the Chelsea now, the Chelseas, the you know, the Barcelonas, you know, of this world, the AC Milans of this world. Once you've won it once, yeah, and you're a big team like that, it's easier to win it again because the whole club, it's a club thing. It's not just the 11 men on the pitch. It's a club thing. The club has to be geared up to win the Champions League. That's people behind the scenes. That's the 11. That's the supporters, the manager. They're managed by Ancelotti. How many Champions League has my man got?
Yeah.
Come on, man. So I'm not writing off Manchester City at all. I'm not writing them off.
It's gonna be a great
Guardiola,
tie.
It's gonna be a great tie. Pep Guardiola has been in the most semi-finals ever for a manager in the Champions League ever. Yeah. But he's coming up against a wily old fox in Ancelotti. He's coming up against Real Madrid, who are the Champions League specialists. If Real Madrid get through and were to play Liverpool in the final, I make Real Madrid favourites. Just for the simple fact that they've got players in there that have won that trophy 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got Kroos, you got Modric, yeah. You've got know-how in that team. Thibaut Courtois won it a couple of times. Benzema's won it a couple of times. You've got man in that team, Casemiro, yeah, that know how to win this trophy. That's what's getting them through. Their squad's not being better than half of the people that they've played. Their squad's not being better than half the people that they played. Chelsea would have looked at that and gone, yeah, we park these. That Chelsea squad on paper should park off that Real Madrid squad on paper. But it doesn't. It doesn't do it. And the same as Manchester City. That squad on paper should beat that Real Madrid squad on paper. But when you've got those players that are capable of moments of brilliance, look at the Modric pass. Did you see that? That was outrageous.
One of the greatest passes I've ever seen in my life.
It's despicable. It's despicable. It's despicable.
Outrageous.
Like, it's disgusting. Okay, Courtois been to finals. Atletico, European final with them. Chelsea, European final. He's been there. Like he's been there. He's been on the big stage. Yeah. All I'm saying is, yeah, that pass from Modric was disgusting. Yeah. The way that Real Madrid dealt with Chelsea was disgusting. I expect Manchester City to receive the same amount of smoke. And if they come out on the other side of it, yeah, fair play to you. But it ain't gonna be easy. City fans are going, yeah, we're through. You're playing against like Mr. Champions League, Real Madrid. That's what they do. They don't win La Liga, they win the Champions League. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't agree more with everything you've just said. If I was pushed, you know, you look at how Chelsea came back against Madrid in the Bernabeu, they almost did it. City are a level above Chelsea. So like you say, on paper, the obvious choice is to go for City over 2 legs, but I couldn't agree more with everything you said about Madrid. Underestimate them at your peril, because they will come out and put it out the bag. You know, you look at the Madrid team that even won the Champions League a few times. Yeah, you know, they might have had Ronaldo and Bale here and there, but a couple of times you're looking at their squad, you're looking at their 11, and you're going, he ain't great, he's average, he's all right, he's brilliant, but he's not great. They still win. They just serial winners. And like you mentioned about the club, not necessarily even the group of players, but if you're part of a club with that history that's just won it again, they're coming to training every day and they walk past 13 Champions League trophies. Champions
League lights at the Bernabeu ain't the same Champions League nights at the Etihad, rude boy. Let me tell you that. It's different. It's different. It's the same as Champions League nights at Anfield. Ain't the same Champions League nights at the Etihad. It's different. It's got a different feel. It's different. It's totally different.
Same as PSG.
Yeah?
You know, they might have a brilliant team, but they've got no history in the competition, and they're really, really struggling. Yeah, they've reached a final. City have reached a final, but they can't get over that final hurdle because it's to win that trophy. You've got to have the X factor. You've got to have a bit of sparkle, a bit of special, and they haven't quite managed it yet.
Bro, look at us, yeah? So 2005, right? We win it. 2005, yeah?
Somehow.
We flunk in 06, yeah? We flunk, right?
Yeah.
2007, we return.
Yep.
Yeah. And up against arguably what was the best team of that decade, which was AC Milan. AC Milan were just like, we're here for smoke. Like, you're getting pumped. 3-1. Got pumped, parked, quick.
2-1.
Yeah.
Wasn't that bad.
Was it 2-1? Sorry, 2-1. Got parked quick. Boom. See you later, mate. Yeah. It was just boom, boom, boom. Done. Yeah. Avenged before. And look how long it took us. I get it. European finals in between then. But look how long it took us to win it again. Yeah. But again, we done back-to-back finals. But that's because we've got the know-how. If you think about it, 05, 07, sorry, 05, 07, then finals, the win. And if we're in the finals again, that's five finals essentially in 2 decades. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's very good.
That's ridiculous. Yeah. And if we win it, that's 3 out of 5 wins. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Record,
like,
is it?
That's ridiculous. That's stupid. That's stupid. that's ridiculous. And this is what I'm trying to say. Like, teams are like fans are underestimating how much it takes from your club to win this trophy. And I said it when Chelsea won their first. I said when Chelsea wins their first, it'll become addictive.
But look how long it took.
Exactly.
I mean, when did Abramovich come in? 2003, 2004? And their first Champions League win was 2012. So it takes a while.
This is what I'm saying. And Manchester City are gearing up to that. But the thing that they've got, the obstacle they've got in their way is a juggernaut in Real Madrid. Serial. I mean,
they're gonna have to earn it, aren't they? They're gonna have to beat Madrid and Liverpool to win the Champions League. Wow.
You're gonna have to. That's what I'm saying. You're gonna have to go. Well, we say in Liverpool. Let's not count our chickens.
Potentially, potentially.
But you're coming up against if it is to be Liverpool in the final, for City to get that trophy, you're coming up against 2 clubs, which know how. Yeah. City are coming up against a team in Liverpool. Yeah. If they get to the final, that team has done 3 finals, 3 Champions Leagues. Yeah. 4 European finals under Klopp. If we get there. Yeah. Europa League and 3 Champions League finals if we get there. Yeah. City have done 2. There's pedigree in that. There's pedigree in that. This is what I'm trying to say. It ain't going to be.
It's gonna be interesting because, like you say, I think we definitely learned from that Europa final. We then really learned from the Madrid final. Came back strong and parked off Spurs. Will Man City use that Chelsea final from last year in a similar way, or will they get stage fright again and struggle? I mean, I think it's in France, in Paris this year, so at least we haven't got to go too far, but. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it overall, the Champions League. I think it's been a really good season again for it. I really enjoyed the Chelsea-Madrid tie. Liverpool-Benfica shouldn't have been quite as interesting as it was, but it was in the end. It's one of them tournaments you never, ever know. You never know what's going to happen. And like you say, with Villarreal, they're going to give it their best. So, yeah, I think is it not this midweek, the midweek after? I don't think it's long until it comes back around again. So, bring it on, mate.
Before we close, because we're coming to that golden time, the Premier League.
Man United, have we? The preview.
Well, this is what I'm saying. We're going to talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Okay, cool.
So United, Liverpool. Obviously, Liverpool have arguably got the harder of the run-ins. I mean, if we look at Liverpool's remaining fixtures, I'll just bring them up now.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'll go through the head-to-heads while you do that if you want. Recent one.
Yeah.
So last time out this season in the Premier League, cheeky 5-0 win away from home back in October, which was very, very enjoyable. I would love a repeat of that. That would be very, very nice. Game before that was a 4-2 win at Old Trafford. Again, in May in the Premier League. Before that, it was a 3-2 defeat in the FA Cup, again at Old Trafford. The last time I played them at Anfield was back in January 2021, behind closed doors, a boring 0-0 draw. And the last time we actually beat them at home, which was the match before that, 2-0 win, which was the Addison to Mo Salah goal. If you remember, Addison running the whole way to the other side, Salah bringing off his shirt. But this could be the first time since 2009 that we've beat them 3 times in a row if we win this one. So that would be very nice.
Ooh.
Ooh.
How the mighty have fallen. Anyway, if we're looking at remaining fixtures though, and Liverpool have arguably got the harder running, yeah. Let's not sit here and say we haven't. We have. City fans will know this too, yeah. So we've got United tomorrow, all right. After that, we've then got Everton, who are fighting for their lives. Yeah.
Yes.
At the bottom of the league, I would love to relegate. I would love to relegate.
I think that's 2 wins personally.
Dude, I'm not banking on it. Yeah, nothing at this business end of the season is given. But if I had Utopia, yes, I would love to relegate Everton, and I would love to beat United 3 times in one season. I think the thing is though with United is, and this is the question, right? This is the big question. I'm sorry. Let me finish off the run-in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we got Villarreal. Then we got Newcastle. Newcastle playing some good football up at Newcastle. It's not going to be an easy game.
Tough game.
Yeah. You've then got Spurs again, who are fighting for Champions League football. It's not going to be an easy game.
No, they always seem to come up against us.
Exactly. We then go to Villa. Yeah. I'm expecting Stevie G to step aside. Right. Right. And Stevie, if you're watching this, I'm expecting you, Coutinho, and Danny Ings to step aside. Right. I don't want you to make it easy. Yeah. But I don't want you to be putting out full strength and bollocks like that. You lot need to just relax and let us just do this.
I mean, they've been in shocking form as well, Villa.
Good. Long may it continue. We then have the final, obviously, in the FA Cup against Chelsea. We then got which will be a rearranged fixture with Southampton, which again ain't going to be an easy game. No. And then on the last day of the season, we go to Wolves, which isn't going to be an easy.
Are we away to Wolves last game? Are we?
No, we're home. We're home.
Oh, good. Oh, that helps.
On the last.
I'm sure we've played Wolves on the last game before and won it.
Yeah, we did, but it ain't gonna be easy. And then if we compare that with City's last fixtures, and they got Burnley coming up or something.
I know they got West Ham away. I think that was the hardest on paper in terms of league position that I think they have left.
They got Burnley next, or so. I feel like they got Burnley next. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Right. We've got Brighton. Sorry. Is that Brighton? Yeah, Brighton they've got next. Then they got Watford.
One away to Arsenal and Spurs, Brighton.
Yeah. So it ain't going to be easy, but we expected Brighton to do a job for us before and they fucking didn't.
Yeah.
You got Watford. So you got Brighton, Watford. Watford are going to get parked. Then it's the Real Madrid game. Then it's Leeds. And then it's Newcastle. So it's good. Look. And then after that, after Newcastle, you then got West Ham, which isn't going to be an easy game. And
that's the one for me. I mean, in my opinion, West Ham potential draw means we win every single game, we win the league. That's only way it happens for me. I mean, it's a shame. It's a shame that West Ham.
Villa.
Yeah, well, I'll get onto that in a second. But it's a shame that the West Ham game isn't between the Madrid games, because then I think we'd be in some serious trouble. But Leeds in between Madrid, they've had a bit of a touch of luck there, haven't they? So yeah, Villa on the last day. If it was at Villa, yes. If it's at City, they've been there before. You know, they home to QPR, they had to win, they did it. You know, the Brighton game that you mentioned a minute ago, had to win, they won it. I don't expect. I mean, it'd be great. What a story that would be. Last day, Gerrard, Coutinho, etc. But for me, West Ham are the only real club that are going to take up, points off them. Yeah, we've seen it before. You know, they drew with Southampton, they drew with Palace, they lost to Palace. So never write them off. I think they've got Wolves away to be rearranged as well, which again, they're up there as well. So potentially one of those two. But I think personally, if we're going to win the league, we have to win every game from now.
Yeah, I think we have to win every game. 100%. We have to win every game and pray for a slip up. But could you imagine on the last day of the season, Coutinho? Oh my days!
The outrageous.
Listen, I'm telling you, if I hear that and we win, nobody ever speak bad on that man's name ever again.
I mean, I'm looking at this picture of Klopp and the 4 trophies, and yeah, I think we can do the other 3. I really, really do. I think
we can do all 4. It's there. It's there.
It's not though, is it? Because we're relying on West Ham basically and Wolves to do us a favour.
It's there.
It's there.
It's there.
But if we were a point clear, yeah. But we've trailed them before and they've stayed perfect, and so have we. And these 2 teams are the best 2 teams ability-wise we've ever seen in this league. The consistency, the points, season after season after season, just winning 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 games in a row. We've never seen the like of it. But yeah, it's just such a shame that they're both here at the same time. The League Cup's done. The FA Cup, I'd back us against Chelsea in a 90-minute, 120-minute game. I think we can do Villarreal. Champions League final, I'd back us to win that as well. But it's just, I've just not got the confidence in the other 18 teams in this league to do us a favour. If we had City, I know we just played them. We drew 2-2. I think we were quite fortunate to get out with a draw, if I'm honest, in that game. I just think I look back and it's always the same thing for me. 2-0 up at home to Brighton, 2-2. 2-0 up away to Chelsea, 2-2. Winning against Chelsea with 10 men, didn't finish off the job at home against 10 men. They're the games for me. It's an extra 6 points. The league's done and dusted with those ones, but we've just not quite got enough over 38 games. I'd love to be wrong. We've closed the gap phenomenally from what it was before, from turning me into from a doubter to a believer. But I just genuinely think that we're going to come agonizingly short again, which, 3 out of 4 trophies ain't bad, but it was so close, wasn't it, to utopia?
Nah, I'm not having it. Nah. This is the revenge tour. I'm sticking to my guns.
If it happens, mate, literally.
I'm sticking to my guns. I told all of you fuckers at the start of the season, we're taking everything. I told all of you, and I wholeheartedly believe we are taking everything. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it's like literally, we are taking everything. There's going to be no mercy. We're taking everything. Yeah, all of this bollocks about Liverpool last year. Can't use the injuries as an excuse. This at the moment is telling you it was just a blip. And do you know what? If we'd have won it last year as well. We've been that good. We'd have won it last year as well. We would have won the league. We would have won the Champions League because we would have parked off Real Madrid. Yeah, because Madrid weren't that good, even with our depleted squad. They weren't that good. We would have parked Madrid. We'd have got to the final. We'd have parked off fucking Chelsea. We would have done it. Yeah, I believe in this team. Yeah, I believe in this team. We're getting the quadruple. We are making history. We are making history. You speak it into existence. Yeah, we are making history. City are going to slip up. They're going to. I don't think it will be a loss. I think it will be a draw. They will get a draw. Yeah,
we go 1 point clear.
And we go 1 point clear. And we just have to remain on our job. And you know what it's like when this team's got the bit between their teeth. When they've got the bit between the and I think we've got it now. I think the difference is with us and City, we have the momentum. We enjoy chasing. We enjoy it. We like chasing. You think about the season we won the league. When we'd confirmed and it was all but mathematically done, the results started to go everywhere. Yeah, it started to go everywhere. Whereas with us, when the back's against the wall, the chips are down, we deliver. We deliver. So at the end of the day, all we've got to do is keep our end of the bargain up. Yeah, we just continue to park off these teams and do what we've got to do to keep the pressures on those fucking bottle jobs. Yeah, and they will bottle it. They will bottle it. They will bottle because ultimately it will come. It will come down to it. And where I think will be the big one, yeah, I think the Champions League will be the big one. Yeah, I think we get the league, yeah, and then it's on to Champions League final, and that will be if City do make it through against Real Madrid, that will be huge. But at the same time, if City don't get a result against Real Madrid, I feel their season capitulates. I do. I think it just explodes. I think it just implodes because you know what Pep's like. He starts to overthink and starts to overanalyze, and then wants to play Edison in the midfield, and then decides he's going to play Jack Steffen as a striker and do all these stupid things.
It's an interesting point you make. Is because, like you say, if they win out the Champions League, you'd think, well, that's it. They've only got one competition left to focus on. But it's almost the opposite with City, isn't it? Because it's like you say with the mentality. If they crash out of the Champions League and they've got like 4 games left of the Prem. Yeah, do they end up having that in the back of their minds that they just can't go over that mental hurdle? It's a great point,
mate. They're like a team full of kids. You know when like you and I both coach, yeah.
Yeah.
You know when you come up against that team that's like top of the league, they're top. Yeah, they don't lose games.
Win every game.
They win every game, and then they come to you, the minnows, right? And you start dishing out a hiding, and they're like, and they start to sulk. That is City. That's what they're like. If they don't have it their own way, they sulk, and that's not a disrespect to Manchester City as a club.
It's just people that are used to winning. Yeah,
exactly. It's not disrespect. That's the same of anybody that's a serial winners when they don't get it. When it's an expectation, yeah, and it's an expectation of City, right? I think that kind of air of invincibility is slowly diminishing slightly because
definitely some chinks.
You know, there's some chinks in that armor. They've not had the squad of world stars which they've always, which they've had of late. Because I think
they've had the domestic trophies literally monopolized, haven't they, for a good 5 years?
Of course, but I think that they're going through a slight change as well. Not a bad thing. I think it's a good thing for them because you think Fernandinho's coming to an end. Yeah, they addressed the centre back thing pretty quickly, and when they brought in Ruben Diaz, they addressed that really quick with Company going out. The whole the Aguero thing, they've not addressed that. Yeah, although they're winning the league without a striker, I think they'll address that in the summer with Haaland. Yeah, so they're going through that transition. Right? Which is fine. Like every team's got to go through it. Yeah. So I do think that this is there. Is that we can do it. We can do it. If we go and win the FA Cup, right, that puts more pressure on them. They're like, fuck, they've just won the FA Cup. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean?
No, you're right. It's an interesting one because I still don't think that he knows his best team. He's still got people that are all kind of fighting. And you look at Liverpool as a club. James Milner doesn't play a minute in that semi-final, and he's the one to tell Klopp to go and do his fist pumps to the crowd. And you can imagine from a City point of view, the players that didn't even get on the pitch are just walking down that tunnel like, what the fuck? Why aren't I playing? What a joke. So it's the togetherness of Liverpool. I feel could be the difference. I really, really hope it is. And yeah, I like your version more than mine. So let's hope it happens.
Right, guys, we've run out of time. We're 18 minutes over, but it's good convo. So we thought we'd stay on. Obviously, Manchester United versus Liverpool coming up tomorrow. Make sure you're keeping it Red Sea Podcast. Make sure you're looking into everything we've got coming up. We're going to make sure we're on here a little bit more often. We've kind of slipped off a little bit due to work commitments and social life and whatever not and general life. But we're here for the run-in. Keep it Red Sea Podcast. This has been Tiago's father. That's been my co-host, Southern Scouser. We're over and we're out.